Hello everyone, this is the Nameless one, and today we are going to go over how to create a character in D&D 5th edition. Before we do, I would like to say a big thank you to my Patreon supporters. So you now have the tools you need to begin a campaign. An adventure path, some good friends, plenty of dice, the player's handbook, and a stack of blank character sheets. Now it's time to fill those sheets with what will be your window to interact with the game world. Before we get ahead of ourselves and start throwing dice around, we need to decide what you are going to play. Dungeons & Dragons has dozens of races to choose from and hundreds more created by DMs and other players. However, we will save the creation and balancing of homebrew races for another time. For now, let's start with one of the races available in the player's handbook. Each race has its own unique advantages. Each provides a new perspective with which to express your creativity and vision for the masterpiece you create. Will you be a roguish tiefling living on the edge, a mighty dwarven smith in search of rare materials to complete your masterpiece? Or perhaps a drow searching to distance himself from the atrocities of his people? There are also those who prefer a more mechanical approach to choosing a race. Whatever it is that motivates you to make the decision, character race will be one of the first and most important of those decisions. For this video, we will be choosing the gnome race. Now on to the next step, class. There are a variety of different classes in D&D, each with its own unique subclasses. The choice of your character's class and subclass will define how you act through combat. There are many classes, each with their own strengths and weaknesses. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to do a deep dive on the different classes in a future video. For our gnome, we are going to choose an evocation wizard. When you choose a class, you get what are called proficiencies. These will be weapons, tools, saving throws, and skills your character is proficient in. With the exception of skills, your character will be proficient in everything listed. For skills, you will pick two. For example, a wizard is able to choose from skills such as Arcana, History, Insight, Investigation, Medicine, and Religion. We will choose Arcana and History for our gnome. Next up is backgrounds. Now I personally believe in building a character without using the tables provided in the player's handbook to make the character's background and personality traits. However, these tables are still a tool that is an undeniable asset to those who are not sure on where they want to take their character. We will use the Guild Artisan as our gnome's background. This will give us insight and persuasion as skill proficiencies, as well as one tool proficiency, one extra language, and equipment. The wizard class will also provide some starting equipment. It's here we will name our gnome and give him a backstory. Meet Fizban Tinkertot, a gnome engineer obsessed with creating machines and especially automatons that do not rely on magic. He stepped away from his work to learn evocation magic after a sticky-fingered halfling attempted to make off with some of his blueprints. Now he is in search of rare materials and someone to fund his experiments. Now that our character's concept is laid out, class and background are picked, and name bestowed upon him, it's time to create the actual stats. The gameplay of D&D is based around 6 core stats, those being strength, your ability to do things like lift heavy objects, dexterity, your ability to dodge and perform acrobatics, intelligence, your brain power, constitution, the measure of how healthy you are, wisdom, your ability to apply intelligence to the world around you, and charisma, how much of a force of will you have in social situations. These stats are given a value in one of many ways. Those include methods like stat arrays and point buys. However, my favorite method, and the one I will be teaching to you, is dice roll. The dice roll method involves taking 4 6-sided dice, or 4d6, and rolling them. You then drop the lowest value and add the remaining 3. It is generally recommended to re-roll anything under a 9, but this is up to the Dungeon Master's discretion. For Fizban, we have rolled a 10, 12, 12, 14, 16, and 18. These stats each have an additional number that corresponds to it. Starting at 10, each even number away from it either increases or decreases by 1. For example, with 10 being 0, an 8 is a -1, and a 12 is a +1. This is called a stat bonus, and for those of you who don't care to do the math yourself, there is a chart that explains it in the earliest chapters of the PHB. So for Fizban, with the Gnome ability score increase of +2 to intelligence, he now has a strength of 10, giving him a +0, a dex of 12, giving him a +1, a charisma of 12, giving him a +1, a wisdom of 14, giving him a +2, a constitution of 16, giving him a +3, and finally an intelligence of 20, giving him a +5. Now the ability score bonuses will be the only thing that you need from these numbers until you level up. These numbers will be put to your character skills. These skills are acrobatics, animal handling, arcana, athletics, deception, history, insight, intimidation, investigation, medicine, nature, perception, performance, persuasion, religion, sleight of hand, stealth, and survival. This is where your proficiencies will also come into play. Each of these skills is attributed to a stat. The bonuses are what you add to a d20 or 20-sided die to determine a pass or fail. For example, Fizban has a +5 to intelligence. Nature is an intelligence skill, thus when he rolls, he adds +5 to that roll. Proficiencies add another number to that mix. This number changes with level. At level 1, it is a +2. So for example, Fizban is proficient in Arcana, another intelligence skill. Normally, it would mean a +5, however, with proficiency, it is actually a +7. All of this falls under what is called a skill check. This will also be applied to saving throws. We'll explain more about those in the combat video. The final two things for martial classes to do is calculate armor class or AC and health. AC is simple. Add dexterity modifier +10 and that is your base armor class. This will change depending on things like armor, spells, and occasionally race, the total race being an example of the latter. Health at level 1 is the maximum value of the class's hit dice plus constitution modifier. For example, as a wizard, Fizban gains a d6 hit dice. With a constitution modifier of +3, he would have a total of 9 hit points at first level. Each subsequent level would add his constitution modifier plus whatever he rolls on a d6. After this, all that's left is to choose spells as dictated by the chart in the PHB for your class, and you are done with character creation. What are your thoughts? Did you find this helpful?
Also, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. And if you want to help to support the channel further, check out my reward tiers at patreon.com/thenamelessone. A huge thanks to those who already have, especially my priest tiers. Sawtooth Waves, Cameo Shadowness, Scarmix, Trailblazer, and a Mysterious Benefactor. Without your help, none of this would be possible. Everyone have a great day, and drink water.